Hi, everyone. Thank you for making it into this business, finance, and marketing breakout room. We're just going to wait a couple more minutes here and give everyone a chance to get in. It looks like most of our panelists have made it, I think. Let me make sure. Looks like we're waiting for just a couple more. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Sorry about all the confusion. We're trying to get everyone in here.
I just didn't, there wasn't a button at the bottom that said breakout room, so.
We keep running into that. I think it may have something to do with like the version of Zoom that you have or something like that. Anyways, we're figuring it out.
Okay, I'm here now.
Awesome. We have Amy with us. I think I also see Leslie. We're just waiting for Trina Reineck.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay, I'm here.
Hi, Trina. Nice to see you. No problem.
I didn't have a breakout room. I'm sorry.
We are getting there. We'll all get there at some point. Okay, well, I am going to get started, and we have a couple more people trickle in, but that's okay. We'll bring them on board. My name is Kelly Beatty. I'm going to be the moderator today of this panel. This is business, finance, and marketing. So hopefully, if you're here, you are supposed to be here. I'd like to welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. With us today, we have Amy Roldan from the City of Huron's Chamber of Commerce. We have Michelle Markel from Vacation Land Federal Credit Union. We have Trina Reineck from Flickinger Insurance and Leslie Andecover from Valley View Health. So the first thing that I'd like to do is go through each of you take a couple minutes, introduce yourself, talk about yourself, the organization you work for, and kind of what a day-to-day workday looks like for you. So what are some of the skills you use, some of the tasks you do, and basically anything that you'd like to start with. So Trina, maybe you'd like to start?
Hi, like she said, my name is Trina Reineck. I work at Flickinger Insurance Agency here in Uptown Norwalk. We're right on Main Street. We are an independent agency who writes personal insurance for homeowners, vehicles, boats, anything really. We do commercial business, so our clientele varies from anybody from a family to a business owner to anyone that you can think of. I mean, that's what we're here for, to protect your needs and the things that you own. And that's our job. I've been working here for about 10 years. I'm a licensed agent and I like what I do.
That's awesome. That's always an important thing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Michelle, would you like to go next? You're next on my screen.
Absolutely. So I'm Michelle Markel. I'm the Director of Human Resources for Vacation Land Federal Credit Union. I work at the Hayes Avenue branch, but we actually have 5 branches throughout the Firelands region, mostly, well, they're all in Erie County. Well, nope, sorry, take that back. We have one in Huron County. So we have one in Norwalk, Vermilion. We have two in Sandusky, one by the mall, and then one in here at Hayes Avenue. And then we have one out by the Bowling Green campus on Rye Beach Road. So those are our branches. And I mean, my duties really are HR related. So what I thought I would talk about today really for the benefit of the students is what our employees do daily. Primarily what we hire in for that the students would be interested in are teller positions. We're a financial institution. Credit unions are a bit different than banks. I'll just spend a quick minute on that. So credit unions are not for profit. We're a cooperative. And so what that means is we call our customers members instead of customers, because when they open a savings account, they're really purchasing a share in the organization. They have voting rights on things that need to be voted on, like adding board members, things like that. So they really own a piece of the company when they open a savings account, which is a bit different than a bank. We don't return profits to our shareholders like large banks do. Our money goes back into our members in terms of lower interest rates on loans and savings accounts. So our organization is a bit different. And the reason I mention that, which I know can be confusing, is because it really has a lot to do with the culture of our organization, both for our members and also when we hire, because they tend to mirror one another in terms of we're a very family-friendly organization, and our employees kind of mirror that in terms of our customer base as well. So when we hire people, what we're really looking for are people that have, so I can train somebody to be a teller. I can teach them how to use our computer system. But what I'm really looking for are people that are friendly, who have exceptional customer service skills and basic computer skills, and people that are going to show up on time every day. And so really the basic things that people are going to be doing every day are showing up on time and processing transactions for our members, either through the drive-through or in person when they come in to cash a check or make a deposit into their account, or transfer money, make payments on their loans, those kinds of things. So
Awesome.
that in a nutshell is what they do.
Great, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Leslie, would you like to go next? I see you next on my screen.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Leslie Andecover. I work at Valley View Health Campus, which is part of Trilogy Health Services. So we have lots of campuses in the area. I am in Seneca County, but we have Erie, Sandusky. So if you look up Trilogy Health Services, you could find any other campuses. But my particular position is called Community Service Representative. I know it sounds like I got in trouble and I'm having to do community service, but that's not exactly what it is. So anyways, my job is to plan our marketing and to host events, advertising, and then as well, I handle all the admissions coming into our campus. So what our campus is maybe some of you students have a grandparent that lives in a campus long-term, or maybe they went there for rehab and then came home after surgery or something like that. So that's what we do. We have an elderly community. And during COVID, unfortunately, our kind of our culture, or what we enjoy in our line of work, is family oriented, both as far as employees and residents that live here. My daughter actually is getting a job here. She just turned 16, so she's going to start out here, and we have a lot of employees that have family members here, and then our residents. We love a guest-centered culture. So what that would mean is that we want families to come in and be with their loved ones. So of course, during COVID, that has not been what's been happening, but today we had huge news. The family members actually get to start coming back in and going to their loved ones' rooms to visit. So it is a big deal for us, but that's our culture. We love family. And then different people I work with myself, I would say my main job is to communicate. So I have to communicate with the hospital as far as an admission coming in. We have to communicate with family members and the resident themselves. You know, they need a good, clear understanding of what it's going to cost and what it will be like when they move in. So that's an important skill set when you're coming into anything in marketing or admissions. And I love my job. I like it even more when COVID wasn't around, but hopefully things will start to get back to normal soon. And that's about it in a nutshell.
Awesome. We had one question come in. Did you know that you would want to be in this career when you were in high school?
Oh, geez, definitely not. So for me personally, I worked at Firelands Federal Credit Union in high school. And then while I had children up till my second baby, and then I stayed home and for like 7 years. And then I started out at the Willows at Bellevue, which is also owned by Trilogy. And I actually started out in laundry on second shift just to have another job in the evening. And I grew from there. So I can talk about that later when it's appropriate. But no, I did not know I wanted to do this. I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
I think we all can relate to that at least a little bit. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Amy, if you want to go next and talk a little bit about yourself and what you do. Oh, I think you're still muted.
Unmute.
There
Sorry
you go.
about that. I'm Amy Roldan, the Executive Director of the Huron Chamber of Commerce. That's the city, not the county. And we're a small office of one employee, me. And I report to a board of directors. The board of directors includes business directors and owners in the area, as well as standing positions that are held by city officials, township officials, county officials, school officials. Because our job is to really be the liaison between all of those entities in our area with everything that we do. We have 3 main focus areas with the chamber. We focus on economic development, tourism, and community engagement. My days are always spent with assisting our 300 members, which is a lot of members for a small town like Huron. About 25% of our membership is outside of the area because you can be a member no matter where you are. So we serve businesses from Huron to Sandusky, Norwalk, Milan, and Vermilion, and planning events, assisting community members as needed, and handling our day-to-day finances and business needs here for the chamber. And then we do a lot of social media marketing. That's our main tool that we utilize to make sure that we're promoting our area, promoting our businesses, and making sure that we're keeping our community members engaged and informed on what's going on in the area. 2 of our largest, just to give an example of our social media, 2 of our largest followed social media pages are Dine Huron and Jobs in Huron, Ohio. And Dine Huron is great for people to find out where they want to go to dinner at night, and Jobs Huron is great for our businesses to share what openings they have. And we also invite community members to put out there what job they're looking for. And we hope that that creates a link between our employers and our future employees. So those are very important to us, as well as other pages that we manage that are newsworthy, community worthy, and things like that. Our members include any of the industries in the area, including manufacturing, retail, doctors, real estate, and small business owners. Everybody has different needs. Some need marketing help, some need financial help, some need, we just from one end to the other, the chamber's here to help them in any way that we can. With COVID, of course, it kind of turned everybody's world upside down. But for us, we really felt like it was our call to action. It was the time that our businesses needed us the most. And we wanted to make sure that we were there to help them and answer their questions and give good direction and information. And that is just like a priority for us, is to make sure that for our community and our members that we're providing the opportunity to collaborate and share resources. So communication is a huge part of my job, whether it's to community members or to our businesses, and being engaged and knowledgeable of what's going on in our community and our government and our finances to be able to assist everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Where I'd like to turn to next, which kind of gets to Christelle's question, is about education and kind of the background and path that you guys all had to get to the positions that you're in now. What kind of jobs you had before, where you kind of found your way and discovered that you wanted to be in the position that you had now. So Trina, if you'd like to start again.
Sure. So before I came here, I worked in 2 office settings. Mostly, I've had other little jobs here and there, but those were 2 big ones. The last one that I had was very demanding. I was away from home for long hours during the summertime. I had 2 small kids, a husband, and it just was something that I knew was not going to be my lifetime career. I didn't want to end up with that. I was actually approached by someone I graduated high school with who works here. She is my boss now. This is her family's business. Her dad is the one who she's working under until she becomes the primary agent. And she basically said, hey, if you're looking for something, we really could use a receptionist. Are you interested? Heck yes. I need something steady, 8 to 5, easy, in and out, not as stressful as what I was doing before. So I started here as a receptionist, and basically I really started to enjoy what I was doing. I worked with our customers. You know, I was the first person that they saw. I was the first person to answer the phone. I liked helping them. I liked being someone that they knew that they could get advice from, that they could get answers from and help. And that's one thing that it was like, it just really clicked with me. I like making people happy. I like helping people. And eventually, you know, after being here for so long, I took my license test. You don't have to have a college education to be an insurance agent. You do 40 hours of education in a classroom setting or online. And then after that, you take a test with the state of Ohio. And once you pass that, you can become a licensed agent in property and casualty. You can become licensed with health and life. And then basically, I mean, once you have your bearings and your understanding of what the world this really is and how to maneuver through it, it can take you as high as you want to go. You can reach goals that you didn't think even were something that you could think of. I never thought I would be an insurance agent. Never. I didn't think that someone like me could be in this position. It just was something that was for smart people, or I don't know, very mature people, which, you know, what you do become. And it's a great career. And honestly, you can go, like I said, as high as you want to go. You can go as far as you want to go with it.
That's awesome. That's super interesting. I didn't know that that's how the licensure tests work. Very cool.
Yep.
Great. Michelle, would you like to go next and talk about your path to kind of where you are now? And then also maybe talk about the paths that some of your employees at the credit union take that maybe start as tellers?
Sure. So I'll talk a little bit about my path first. I won't spend a lot of time on that, but my path really, I started out, my position now is Director of Human Resources, and I'm a one-person HR department here for the organization. So I'm a generalist. I really do everything from hiring. I oversee payroll, benefits, compensation, you know, discipline. We don't fortunately do a lot of terminations around here, but if I had to, you know, I could do that. I started out though for an organization really just processing payroll. And once I did that, got interested in benefits and did more with HR related type of work, and then primarily got out of payroll and just was doing HR work in terms of hiring and recruitment, and a lot more with the benefits and compensation. Benefits and compensation is really kind of my specialty. but I do everything HR related. In order to move into a higher level position, I had to have a college degree, but I didn't have that when I first started working. I found a company who was very supportive of me getting my degree. They actually paid for most of my college classes. I did that while I was working full time, had a family, got married, had a family. It was challenging to do it all, but I was dedicated to doing it because I wanted to move ahead in my career. It certainly would have been a lot easier to do it probably right out of high school, but I didn't have that opportunity when I graduated. So fortunately for me, I found an organization to work for that supported it. And once I had my degree, they promoted me into a position. And then from there, that was not a financial institution position, but I did find not this credit union, but another credit union in Lorain County that I worked for, that I really enjoyed the financial services industry. And working for a not-for-profit organization is very rewarding work. And I think if I had the choice, which I mean I do, I'm planning on retiring from here. I would always work for a not-profit or nonprofit or not-for-profit organization. It's just very rewarding work. I enjoy it. So that's kind of the path that I took to get to where I am today. Our employees typically hire in, as I said, in the teller area. We do have some administrative clerk positions open right now that are entry level. And then we have a ton of opportunity for growth here. Our, for example, chief operations officer right now started out as a part-time teller 30 years ago. And she grew in the organization to the point where she is now. And that still happens today. We post all of our positions internally for 3 days, and that people have the opportunity to bid for those positions. We have a young man who started out with us as a teller not quite 6 months ago, and he's already moved into a lending position, and he's doing very well. Very proud of him. So there's a ton of opportunity for growth here. We believe in promoting people from within and training them and giving them the skills that they need to move into areas of the organization that we want. We have a wonderful online training system. We have a full-time training manager here who does a lot of training, and we do a lot of peer training. So, our employees really take a path that they want to take. They can go from being a teller or a clerk into a mortgage position. They can go into member-facing positions where they're dealing with members face-to-face every day, or they can go into what we call back office positions where they're not dealing with members face-to-face every day. Really, the sky's the limit. They can do what they want. And then we have people who cross over into management positions as well. So, I mean, we have a lot of employees who do a lot of different things here.
Very cool. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Leslie, would you like to talk about your path to your position now and kind of how you ended up there?
So like I said, I was at a credit union all through high school and then a long time till I started a family. And like she said, actually, I grew into higher positions the longer I was there. But I had a family, and then at some point it was kind of like, I need to get out of the house or I might go crazy. So I got a position at the Willows at Willard, and I did start in housekeeping and laundry just in the evenings. And I've been with Trilogy now 13 years, and I slowly just moved up. I went into payroll, then I went into the business office, which does all of our billing of our claims. And then I became the community service rep. I did not do all that at the same campus. So sometimes when you take entry-level positions, unfortunately, you got to be willing to travel and stick out that time. Now I am close to home. I'm only about 18 minutes away, which is awesome. But sometimes with growth, you got to be prepared to put in a little extra time to get where you ultimately want to end up. So that was my career path here. When I was in high school, I really did not know what I wanted to do. Right when I got out of high school, I got a medical technology certificate. And I did not do anything with that certificate. I ended up staying at the credit union, which there really was no need for any medical terminology information. So yes, that was my path. And now, actually, once I started in payroll and I started to see the other positions within the company, I actually knew this was the position I wanted to end up in, that I was most interested in. Unfortunately, normally, you do need to be a nurse or have a marketing degree. I have neither. So the path took me a little bit longer. I am one of few that don't have a degree in the company. But I would say that the company I work for, they do offer education programs, and you could go back easily to overcome those obstacles.
Well, very cool. It sounds like you did it with just hard work. So that's awesome.
Thanks.
Amy, would you like to talk about your path to being the director now?
Sure. I don't think anyone grows up saying that they want to be a chamber director. I just don't. I don't recall that being on a list or on an outcomes page. But I do think that all the chamber directors come from different backgrounds, different parts of business, have different talents. And for me, I spent my first career in finance and business. I was a finance director for 20 years. I worked for a national company, and prior to kids, I traveled the country. I probably was only home about 2 weeks of the month. It was on the road. And when we decided to start a family, we decided that, I wanted to do something different. We moved back to Ohio from the DC area to raise our family, chose Huron for the schools and the community. And I decided at that point I wanted to do something that, my kids could be involved, that, quality of life was the number one priority. And so for 10 years, I was the director of Big Brothers Big Sisters for Erie County, Seneca County, and Sandusky County. And that was a very, very rewarding job. I learned a lot there. The very cool thing is that when I was applying for it, I interviewed 4 times because they couldn't understand why I want to go from this high paying traveling job to making, I think it was $25,000 a year. And I wasn't a social worker. And, we finally came to realize that, as a director of a nonprofit, it was the business experience you really need, and let the social workers do their job. And so I had a great 10 years there and loved being there. And then as my kids have gotten older and entered into high school, I decided to come to work for the chamber. I love the city of Huron. I've always been very involved with advisory committees and different organizations like the Rotary Club and the Lions. And so when the chamber position was open, I thought this is a great opportunity for me to apply my business and finance background, added to my social service, event planning, and fundraising background, and really try to be a part of Huron and do something good in Huron. So that's kind of my direction of how I got here, and feel that, like I said, no, I don't think anybody grows up to be a chamber director or wants that or puts it on their list of, who they want to be when they grow up. But I definitely think it takes a lot of different talents and a lot of different backgrounds to be a good chamber director.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you use that finance knowledge all the time. That's very cool. Excellent. So that kind of actually brings me to my next question. So thank you. So as we have a bunch of high school seniors here, what advice would you give to our students that are on the call? What kind of experiences should they be looking to have? What kind of skills do they need to gain if they'd like to work in any kind of field of business, finance, or marketing? As we just got a great question, what would you say to someone who doesn't know what they want to do after graduating, or maybe they just have a very general idea? Any thoughts? Anyone?
I'm sorry, did you want me to keep going?
Sure, if you like, anyone can jump in.
Back to the beginning again. I was like, sorry about that.
No
yeah.
problem.
Well, I found that being in the accounting finance field that I really, I did an internship with a local hotel chain. And I realized that it wasn't just about the numbers for me. And I loved accounting. It was actually a teacher, my accounting teacher in high school, that really sparked the interest of utilizing numbers in a different way than just doing math problems or algebra. And so I really knew that's what I wanted to do. But then, when it comes to accounting or finance, is it investing? Is it taxes? Is it cost control? It's a huge wide world out there of how you apply it. And when I did the internship with the hotel chain, I realized I love the hospitality industry. I loved being a part of that experience and always changing and always challenging and not just sitting behind a desk. And anybody that knows me knows I don't have the personality to just sit at a desk and key punch all day long. So I really felt myself so engaged with the actual culture around me and the type of business I was in that I wanted to learn more. I wanted to learn about HR. I wanted to learn about management. I wanted to learn how it all came together. So I learned about little pieces here and there about every piece of the business and grew. And actually I worked for the Marriott Corporation for 11 years. And then I worked for one of their competitors for 6 years before I moved back here to do what I'm doing now. And I really feel that I want to tell anybody that, and I tell my own kids, have a passion for what you do. If you have a passion, you're always going to learn something new. You're always going to want to strive to be better and to learn something and to apply your knowledge to an environment you enjoy. For me, being at the chamber, marketing is very important. Making sure that I help my members market, making sure that I teach them how to communicate, make sure I'm communicating and marketing correctly is very, very important. My finance and accounting background, which is not just numbers, has, I think, contributed to my knowledge of economic development, which really comes in handy with this position and understanding something as simple as how do city taxes work and where does the money go? And, who pays your trash bill on a monthly basis and how does that get taken care of? And how does your money go to the schools and better the schools and education of our kids? And everybody works hand in hand. And I suggest to anybody, no matter what fields you go into, no matter what you do, understand the environment that you're in and the business that you're serving, because everybody has an intricate role. And it's important to know what everybody's roles are to make it all work and be successful together. And that's where I think I was blessed to do an internship in a field that I really enjoyed and then progress from there with my skill. So it was my skill being applied to the environment that I enjoyed.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice. Rhodes, I see you have your hand raised. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question if you have one. Or maybe not. You can also put questions into the chat if you have questions. We'll be more than happy to answer them. Michelle, maybe you'd like to go next and talk about advice?
Yeah, I was just I'm not sure that I can say it much better than Amy did, but I was really going to say something very similar along the same lines. No matter what job or position or internship you go into, it's so important, I have found throughout my career, to really and truly understand the entire business environment that you're working in. So if you were to come on board with us, for example, as a teller or a clerk or in a lending position, I think it is so vitally important for you to understand the culture, the mission, the vision of the organization that you're entering into. And it's really important to do that research before you even go work for that organization. Because the last thing you want to do is end up with a resume, that looks like you've bounced around every 6 months or a year. I know as an HR person, I still look at that. I still look to see, has an individual had 6 jobs in the last 2 years? Because I want, we put a lot of training dollars, time and effort into training somebody to when they come work for us. And we don't want somebody to come work here who is only going to stay for 3 months or 6 months or even just a year and then leave and move on and go do something else. So do the research ahead of time. And when you go for an interview, make sure you go in with those pointed questions about the organization. You're there to learn as much about the organization as they are there to learn about you. So make sure you go in. I'm always impressed with people when they come in and they've been on our website and they've read the About Us section. They know what our history is. They know the difference between a credit union and a bank. They know what year we were founded. They know a little bit about us when they come in for an interview, and they've done their homework and their research. That always impresses me because it means that they're interested in truly being here. You know, and as much experience as you can gain and understand, and that doesn't just mean through a job that you can put on your resume. I mean, you gain experience all through your life doing different things. If it's, you know, mowing grass for your neighbor, if it's, you know, whatever it is, you know, those are experiences that you gain in doing things. You know, when you come in for or when you go in for an interview with someone, think really hard before you go in about all of the things that you've done in your life that have given you customer service experience or have, you know, given you experience going into that interview to help you gain knowledge for the position that you're interviewing for, because you gain more life experience than you think you do, and it's not just from going to work every day. And please always show up on time.
Always great advice. Thank you very much. Trina or Leslie, would you like to add to that?
Sure, absolutely. I think it's kind of a loaded question when you say, what do you want to do when you don't know what you want to do, or how do you know? I have a daughter who's in college. She is a junior. I have a junior in high school. And when she started college, she went in to go into art therapy. Well, now she's going into program and event planning. And that's just kind of how she's always been as a person. And we really had long conversations that got deep into what she likes and what she wouldn't like. She doesn't like other people being in charge. She wants to be the one who makes the plans, sets the goals, gives people tasks. She's always been that way. And growing up with her, it made me grow, because I was always like, I'll just go with the flow. I don't have a plan. Things just kind of happen, and I was okay with that. But when I started watching her and how she was, it's like, okay, yes, let's make goals. Let's do the things that take us to that next level, to that next step. And just like the other ladies have said, it is so important when you are looking for a job and when you're going in for interviews, doing that research and coming in speaking intelligent about their business, because they want you to be a part of that team. They want to see that you want to be a part of that team, that you've done your research and your homework. It's hard to say, what do I want to be when I grow up? Like Amy said, nobody said they wanted to be a chamber director or an insurance agent, for example. I don't see many kids saying that these days. But when you find that passion in you on where it makes you happy, coming to work every day is not considered a job. It's enjoyment. I come to work and it's like, sometimes this is my place to be comfortable. It's like, gosh, I got away from my home headaches and everything else in my day-to-day life. And I look forward to coming to work. I love the people that I work with. We work very close together. We bounce these ideas and questions off of each other, and we are a true team. You will hear that in pretty much anywhere you go work, that being a part of a team, being a team player is so important. You're with each other a lot, more than you see your family most of the time. And you can get to, learn different personalities and adapt to different types of people, your customers, the companies that we work with, everybody brings something different to the table. And I think finding that passion is definitely something that is going to take some time and just some really deep digging. But you can do so many things. Like, I sit on the chamber board of director for Huron County. I'm involved with the community. I go out and do ribbon cuttings for new businesses and help people like find their way around Norwalk. And it's not something that I thought I would do when I was younger, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And like being here and trying to help give advice for seniors in high school, it's like, I think that's a great thing. And I'm glad that you all are here to listen to this today because it's a good opportunity and happy to be here. I don't know if I answered the question completely.
Regardless, it was a great answer. Good advice.
Hey, Kelly.
Yeah.
Someone asked a question about what if you don't know what you want to do? Do you mind if I just address that?
Sure, please.
I get that question a lot. I work closely with the high school and we have kids that want to, I don't know if I want to be a chiropractor or an accountant or own my own business entrepreneur. And I really have the same advice for anybody, no matter what field they think they want to get into, is ask questions. People like the people you're listening to right now on this Zoom, we like talking about what we do. We like sharing. We like inspiring people. We like to, we're passionate about our jobs. And, I love when a high school student comes to me and says, these are the 3 things I'm thinking about. I will put them in touch with someone that's in that position so that they can interview them and talk to them about their education, their experience. You could have, you would have more than thousands of people on this call right now. If you covered every occupation there is out there, thousands, and you can't do that. But, I talk to a lot of kids and I really think that it's important that high school students know that you can ask employers, you can ask, professionals what they do, how they do it, how they got there, and see if it's for you or not. And I think that's really important that kids know. Don't be afraid. Adults want to talk to you. Adults want to help you. And we like talking about what we do. So don't be afraid to ask.
Yes, exactly. Great advice. Leslie?
So something I would recommend is if you have no idea what you want to do, but you do have the opportunity to go to college, is that you should go. You should get a degree in business or something general, because when you do find that career, no matter what it's in, you might find that the lack of a degree could be a barrier to move up. So if you're completely undecided, but you have that opportunity, I would definitely recommend that you take advantage of that. If you are trying to figure out, that you just want to get a job, you don't want to go to college, or maybe you want to get a job and figure it out later. Like they said, definitely research, companies. But something you could do is you could contact those businesses and you could ask them if you could do a short internship and kind of shadow that position. Or if you, get a hold of your guidance counselor at school and see if they can help you to find a particular job that you might be interested in, and contact them and see if you can go in and just shadow for a couple hours. Just being there and seeing what a couple hours is like in somebody's everyday job can be enlightening. You might think that you like that, but then you get there and you're like, wow, this is horrible. So I think internships and job shadows, definitely see if that's possible for you.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're getting down to the end of our time here, that actually reminds me, that is a great point, that we in my organization have all of the contact information for both the student side and the businesses. So any of you on either side who want to find out more about a specific business or anything about a specific occupation, please reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to make the connection there and get kids plugged into the jobs that they're interested in, or even just to have that extra conversation and start to think more about these things. So we only have a couple minutes left here before our Hour 4 starts. So students, thank you very much for joining us. You are free to leave if you don't have any other questions, log off and get ready for Hour 4. Panelists, thank you so much for joining us. I think this has been an awesome conversation and I really appreciate all of the great advice and the insights into what you guys do. So thanks
for having me.
Yes. All right, thank you very much.